Hey, what's going on, family? It's your man B Miles coming to you live once again with another video from the B Miles 84 Conscious channel. And pretty much I'm going to talk to y'all about this asshole tonight by the name of Steve King, and he made some very controversial remarks and all that, and pretty much I'm actually going to dive a little deeper to what he was talking about. He says something that Hispanics and blacks are going to be fighting amongst the are going to be fighting one another before we become before we become a minority in our own country. And then he also says something that whites, we got to restore our civilization. He says something like, whites, we got to restore our civilization, but we can't do it with somebody else's babies. And I find it to be very racist and very controversial because, for one, you want to talk about, we want to restore our civilization. And that's pretty much tied into what Dr. Francis Cress Wilson was saying, dealing with white genetic survival, but also, excuse me, y'all, talking about the browning of America and also dealing with white genocide and things of that nature. And this is how a lot of older whites feel, because they automatically know that America is getting browner and browner by the day, and all minority, and also too, all minorities are birthing more babies in them, and also the white population is at minus birth rate right about now. Not even just zero birth rate, but actually minus birth rates. And pretty much what he's trying to say is that we got to restore. Pretty much, we got to restore our own values and stuff like that. All this other stuff, they pretty much talking in code, trying to say that we got to protect the white race. And at the same time, when it comes to self-preservation, I do understand it, because you want to make sure that your race is alive. But at the same time, they haven't really been keeping up with the numbers as far as them reproducing, because African Americans, my people, and all of us who have African descent, I'm still reproducing a lot more babies than them. Asians, Hispanics, and all other groups are, all the other groups that are being attacked under white supremacy, they are actually birthing more babies than them. And he's pretty much trying to, he's pretty much sounded the alarm, saying like, look, we gotta, we gotta protect, the existence of the white race, and it's all about white survival. And if you take a look around, they have all of these terms, talking about, stop the white genocide, and we gotta protect, we pretty much got to protect the white race or whatnot, because they already said by 2044, you're not going to see them anymore anyway. So they already dying out. And also, pertaining to the same thing, there was an article that came out that ties in with what he's saying that, there are more white deaths than births in 17 states. There are more whites dying in 17 states than being born. That is a very high number. That is very alarming, to the white population. And don't think for one second that that's not going across their mind. He said we got to protect our. He didn't say the American people. He said our civilization. He said our, pretty much white people. You feel me? So it ain't no way you getting around it of what the man was saying, because he's pretty much coming out blatant saying we got to protect our civilization. And he was saying that we cannot do it with everybody else. So you already know that they're going to try to come up with some sort of way that they're going to start attacking all other groups, all other minorities who are pretty much people of color that outproducing white people. You feel me? And him saying that Hispanics and blacks are going to be fighting one another, I don't really see that happening. I just don't. And I really believe that they're going to try to find a way. They're really going to try to find a way to intensify racial tensions between the African, between the African community and also with the Hispanic community. And also what a lot of people fail to realize, there's a lot of Latinos, there's a lot of black Latinos that are out there. Let's be clear, there's a lot of Afro Latinos that are out there. And mind you, of course, there's quite a few Latinos out there, that actually rival black people. You feel me? That actually side with the African community. And for him to say that we're going to be fighting, for him to be saying that they're going to be fighting, before we become a minority in our own country, that right there is saying something that, before we become a minority and all that, because they also saying that America, It's going to be the majority minority. It's going to be, I'm talking about the minority, it's going to be majority, and white people is going to be the minority. So they pretty much saying that we got to put these two groups against one another. Now, mind you, it is some sort of friction going on between both groups, but they really want to try to find a way to intensify their racial tension so we can wind up fighting one another. So guess what? We're going to start killing one another. You feel me? So we can go ahead and start killing one another, and before you know it, that's how the white race is going to survive. So we're going to survive by putting these two groups against one another, and guess what? All we got to do is stay clear out of the way and watch them kill each other. So we got to watch that. And as far as like, the racist Latinos, the ones that look white and the ones that are classified themselves as white, I really don't have too much love for them anyway, because you want to work with white supremacy, you want to side with white supremacy, and you already hooked up with the Aryan Brotherhood. And to me, I don't find it to be cool, because 1 minute you white up on your daggone legal status, and the next minute when shit hit the fan, all of a sudden now they get brown. But of course, I'm gonna save that for another subject. And so he's pretty much sounded the alarm, to the white population. Like, look, these are, like these people are outbirthing us. I'm talking about, the blacks, the Hispanics and all that. And they are literally out here reproducing us. And we got to find a way to like neutralize them. That is exactly what he's saying. He's saying that these niggas right here are outproducing us. And we got to find a way to like, preserve ourselves. Because a lot of times, a lot of white women, they're not reproducing no babies. Or if not, a lot of times they are out there, interracially dating somebody else, somebody that is of African descent, somebody that is black. They are dating like all different kinds of men. Some of them are LGBTQ communities. Some of them are just feminists and all this other stuff. And the white man, he does not have a full hold on his woman. He really doesn't. He does not have a full hold on his woman, and he's trying to find a way to like slow her down. So it's all about, like how Dr. Francis Cress Welsing say, dealing with white genetic survival. And they automatically know that we are genetically superior. And Steve Bannon, this dickhead, trying to say that whites are genetically superior. No, you're not. No, you're not. So he's pretty much, man, like how can I explain it? He's putting it out there that we got to find a way to stop these people. You feel me? And there's got to be some sort of way that we can stop them from reproducing, because when you got people that are at war with each other, there's no reproduction going on. So for him to say something that we gotta it's just crazy. That's just the blatant white supremacy that you're going to see from these people dealing with this alt-right thing. And he's saying that, we got to protect ours, I do understand that, you want to self-preservation. I do understand that. But anytime you want to say something like that, that right there clearly shows to me how racist you really are. And at the same time, it's also showing me, what you're really thinking. You really thinking about, white genetic survival, because your numbers are not doing pretty good right about now. And then also, you're not reproducing. The heroin epidemic is tearing up white society. Suicide rate is tearing them up right about now. And you really trying to sound the alarm to say, like, look, we got to start having babies. We got to, like, put these groups against one another and talk about blacks and Hispanics are going to be fighting against one another before we become a minority, because the browning of America's getting browner and browner by the day. So, I just find it to be very interesting. So I just definitely wanted to drop this video to y'all real quick. And just had to drop this jewel. And of course, I just, something to think about. So this is B Miles coming to you live once again from the B Miles 84 Conscious channel. One love once again. Peace.